Is this working now? See, this went out. Yay! Chat back up. Alright, got that shared. Gonna have a funny story, and then we'll get into the main topic, and then we'll open up the Q&A. So, chill out for a minute. See if I can get some people in here tonight. Hopefully this is working. New software driving me nuts. Check my phone to make sure YouTube is going. So I'm on Facebook, so that's good. And check in YouTube real quick. Should be live on there. My channel to work. Yeah, it's live on there. Alright. As I said, I'm gonna have a kind of a funny kind of story that happened to me today. I'm gonna talk about first, and then we're gonna go into the main topic of the evening: is what to pack when you're headed into trucking school. So, how's it going, John? Give me a second. I just want to make sure everything's all up and going. Yeah, it's new software I'm dealing with, so bear with me for the first couple times. Stupid notifications. Just want to make sure everything's up and going. Had a little issues when I tried to initially start, so I don't want no cash opportunity. Stupid. Facebook. Alright. So how's everyone doing tonight? I gotta make it by the house and get my other coat because I had a little mishap today. Gotta talk about that first. So I was fueling at the Love's in West Memphis. I was gonna go empty out my garbage can, and the garbage can next to the pump there was a little full, so I reached in, had my glove on, reached in to scrunch it down a little bit, and then all of a sudden my whole hand and my whole arm sunk into the garbage can, and someone decided to fill it up with diesel fuel. So I had to throw out my glove. I've got about half my sleeve that's coated in diesel fuel, so I'm gonna have to figure out a way to clean that, and then get my other coat in the meantime. So all sorts of fun. I don't know who the hell decided it was a brilliant idea to freaking fill the garbage can with diesel fuel. Yeah, I wasn't happy. Told the guys at the inside at the Love's about it. I don't know what they're gonna do with it because that's considered hazmat to try and dispose of it, and you're talking what, at least 20 gallons. So yeah, someone was either pissed off at Love's or someone wasn't paying attention to the pump, and so they decided to play a joke on him and put the nozzle inside the inside the garbage can and out of the tank. So we'll see how that works out. Alright, well, no one for Facebook wants to come out and play tonight. Anyways, gonna be doing a lot more of these live, especially now that it's a lot easier for me to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So, I don't know if you want me to really talk about what the heck, John, or if you got any questions or anything, I'll jump into that. Almost over this cold. Can't wait for it to be up. Tired of taking Mucinex and Dayquil freaking like clockwork. So I don't know if my notifications went out on the YouTube side. I hate how that stupid crap works. We are live. So now I gotta go get my coat cleaned, gotta buy another pair of gloves. So it's been fun. Oh, YouTube pissing me off. Well, they got no one in here on that side. Bear with me for a sec here. Well, it's got 3, so I guess my counter's not working. Oh, yep. Oh well. My YouTube counter ain't working for whatever reason. So, hey, Daryl, glad to see you in here, man. So I'll go back into it again. Had a little fun getting fuel today. Was at the Loves at West Memphis, fueling up. Went to empty up my garbage can, and then their garbage can next to the pump was like completely filled up. It had a little bit of room, so I reached in and scrushed it down, had my fueling gloves on and my coat on because it's like 30 degrees out here. When I did that, everything just kind of gave way and my whole arm went into the garbage can, which somebody filled up with diesel fuel. So I had to throw out my glove, my coat soaked and freaking the sleeves soaked in diesel fuel. So now I got to go home and get my other coat, and figure out how to clean diesel fuel out of the sleeve. So it's gonna be fun. So I can't tell how many people are in here watching on this. Pissing me off that the counter's not working. Anyway, so I'm gonna get right into it. I'm gonna do Q&A at the end if you guys have any question. Yes, Daryl, for real, that it was someone filled up the garbage can with at least 20 gallons worth of diesel fuel. It wasn't pee, it wasn't anything else. It was diesel fuel. So somebody either got pissed off at somebody at Love's or decided to play a joke on whoever was fueling up and not paying attention on the passenger side and put the nozzle in the garbage can. So, yeah. Alright, so the main topic tonight is what to pack when you're headed into trucking school. A lot of this is going to be a little bit more towards prime specific, but it's going to be kind of general information for you guys and what to look for, what to keep eye on. You're going to want to be able to survive on 2 weeks worth of clothes. Pretty much going to have, what I suggest is about 2 weeks worth of shirts, 2 weeks worth of underwear and socks, about a week worth of pants, and add in a couple pairs of shorts. Also, that's also seasonal, so if you're coming in right now, you're going to want to be more of a week's worth of pants and maybe like 1 or 2 pair of gym shorts. If you're coming in the dead of summer, kind of flip that around, have about 4 pairs of maybe a week's worth of shorts, and then a couple pairs of jeans just in case you end up in the upper elevation, or or anything like that. It's also going to be a little bit different for you guys flatbedders because of the whole freaking safety equipment requirement at some of our shippers and receivers. So it's going to be a little bit different for that. Now, with that being said, the reason why I say only a week worth of pants is you can get about 2 to 3 days of use out of your pants. It's just one of those things is you're not going to have enough room to keep a month worth of clothes on your trainer's truck to be clean. With that, how I suggest you pack is one large duffel bag and a backpack. That's also to help out for your greyhound ride. Pack all your clothes and all your toiletries, everything you're bringing for that, into your duffel bag. In your backpack, put all your important documentation, all your birth certificate. What else you need to bring? If you need to bring in your W-2s and if you're bringing your resume, anything that's an important piece of paper, especially your birth certificate, do not put that thing underneath the bus, because if that gets lost while in transportation on the Greyhound, you're going to have to pay to get that thing, a new one sent out to you. And I think it's like $300 to do that. So otherwise you'll get sent home and have to come back when you get a new one. So keep that in mind. All your important paperwork, anything that's in value, keep on your body while you're on the Greyhound. Clothes and all that, if that gets lost, unfortunately, you can get new clothes and that if you're at Walmart or something like that, if that does go missing. So, as far as extra stuff to kind of bring, besides just clothing and stuff, make sure you got a couple notebooks, lots of pens, and try to think, pair of gloves. And that's about it for reefer side. If you're going flatbed or tanker, you might want to grab a pair of steel toe boots and a pair of shoes. Oh, also get yourself a pair of cheap flip-flops from Walmart. Use them as your shower shoes. Trust me, you're gonna realize how many people are in and out of these showers and they don't really get detailed clean. So you want to make sure to take care of your feet. Get yourself a pair of cheap flip-flops. And also get one of those, I would suggest getting one of those mesh laundry bags. They're like $3. That way you can put all your dirty laundry into that bag. Make sure while you're in training that you let your trainer know when you're getting low on your clean clothes. We're not a mind reader. We can't tell. We kind of got to plan out when we got to do laundry. So if you wait till you're on your last pair of underwear and last pair of socks and you have no more clean clothes left in your bag, then you tell your trainer, you might be using about maybe a day or so of dirty clothes, because you got to work it out within the trips. So us trainers, we can let our fleet manager know, hey, we need about 4 hours off to knock out, go do laundry. So keep that in mind. You need to be keeping open communication about problems and stuff. Showers and stuff while you're out here on the road, just make sure you talk with your trainer, and you should be getting showers. PSD side at least every day or every other day. TNT gets a little interesting at times, but remember, you don't need to be taking a 5-hour long shower. If you work it out right, talk with your trainer, he can let you use his card, and on your half-hour break, you could go in and knock out a shower real quick. Hop back in and get back on the truck, so that way at least get a shower every day. So talk with him, you can work that out. As far as computers, GPSs, tools, game systems, all that crap, leave at the house. You're not going to have time for it. You'll have maybe some time at the yard when you're sitting there waiting for a trainer, but other than that, that time you should be spending setting your pre-trip. So trying to go over my head real quick. Anything else? Yeah, all your important paperwork, make sure you keep in your backpack on you. Also on your trainer's truck, it's not going to be a guarantee that you get a cabinet or anything for storage, especially on the Peterbilts. You're pretty much guaranteed that you are going to be sleeping with your clothes and whatever you bring with you. So if you decide to have 10 pieces of luggage, you're going to have to learn how to sleep with 10 pieces of luggage. As far as bedding, I suggest getting a sleeping bag and a couple pillows. Nice thing about Prime is Walmart's right there next door. During whenever your breaks and all that, you can actually make your way over and buy that. You don't have to worry about bringing that on the Greyhound. That's just going to be it's going to take up a lot of space that you're going to need for all your clothes and everything else. If you're going to another different trucking school, I know with who was it? I looked at Swift. They only provide 1 meal a day. So look into that. Find out what you're going to need for food. I know they said that there's like a grocery store nearby. The nice thing about Prime is they provide 3 meals a day, so you just need a little bit extra money if you want to eat a little bit better. So kind of get with your school wherever you're going to, and they'll let you know on kind of what they expect you to pack and how long you need to prepare for it. But this is kind of general to get out there to you guys on what to pack when you're coming out here. It's nothing super hard. You don't need to bring fancy equipment, just fancy clothes or anything else like that. Literally just keep it simple. Blue jeans, basketball shorts, regular t-shirts. Don't get crazy and walk into trucking your first day of orientation with pot leaves all over your shirt. It brings across the wrong message. So with that being said, I don't know if my counters are all up, so I don't know if anyone's in here. Does anyone have any questions or anything else I'm missing on what to pack for orientation? So I'll open this all up now for Q&A. So if anyone has any or anything else, any other questions or anything stupid you want to ask me, there's no such thing as a stupid question. So start orientation can't talk. I start orientation Monday at Prime, but I already have my CDL. Alright, so are you having to go out for 30,000 miles with a trainer, or are you coming right in and getting a truck that week, KJ? Because it's going to be a little bit different. Thanks, Mary. I appreciate your support. Coming and watching my videos. It's cold. Coffee. Going to TNT. Okay, kind of the same thing with you, man. Keep all the electronics, keep all that stuff at the house. Orchestrate or work out some home time towards the end of your TNT to pick that stuff up. That way you're not sleeping with that stuff. As I said during Alright, for you, keep an eye on TNT that you're going to be running as team. No one should be sleeping in that top bunk when that truck's in motion. So if your trainer flips out about you sleeping in that top bunk, you need to get off that truck. That's why I suggest getting a sleeping bag, so that way you put a sleeping bag down so you're not using his sheets, his pillows, and all that crap. And then that way also too, you're not throwing that stuff around or chances of getting broke before you get onto your truck. iPad is kind of one of those things. It's going to be you're going to have some time for it. iPad's not bad. Just the big thing with that, just make sure you have a good case for it. Stuff tends to bounce around in trucks and fall. I'm sure if you know if they're coming in as a refresher, you're going to know. Just realize that it's going to get bounced around a little bit, and kind of avoid the headache of having it out all the time, if that makes sense, because some trainers are anal about it. Just kind of talk with your trainer about it. I wish my counters were working. It's pissing me off. Sorry guys, it's one of my things I'm paying some money for, but that doesn't tell me how many people are watching. The other things don't tell me how many people are in here, so it's kind of annoying. AJ, do they tell you how many miles, if it's 15 or 30? Because depending on how much experience you had, it's gonna vary. Driven a while. Okay, so you're pretty much coming in for the full 30. So you know kind of what to expect when you get in for orientation. You're kind of going to be ran through the same way as a PSD. All the basic general classes, all the sim lab stuff, and then all the CBTs, the computer-based training, fun stuff. Trust me, you're going to be super excited about those. Anyways, but then you're going to get matched up with a trainer, and depending on how good your trainer is depends on how they're going to handle you. With TNT, the truck is, even from day one, is they want to be ran as a team. If it's been a while, make sure your trainer knows it's been a while since you drove a truck. Hopefully, either they'll run as super solo or as a solo truck for the first week or so before you start fully getting in the team. Just make sure that you communicate your issues with your trainer if you do not feel comfortable with literally driving your shifts by yourself. So just make sure that they're aware of your situation. Because some of them literally get on the truck and then here you go drive your shift while they go to bed. So I gotta look at my phone, see how many people are in. Two. So I've got a couple people in here. So. But believe it or not, man, that 30,000 miles will be real quick. It'll take about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on if you take any home time in there or not. So, anyone else have any other questions, comments, concerns, anything funny they want to share? I know we got a weather storm coming through, so make sure y'all keep an eye on the weather and make sure you stay safe. Give it about 5 more minutes here. But as far as go back into overview here, for packing, keep it simple. As I said, it's when you're going to pack for CDL school, make sure you keep it simple, stupid. Michael, just tuning in, been looking at different companies to get my CDL at. Okay, man, you got any questions about? I know a lot about Prime. I know some about Swift, a couple other companies. So feel free to hammer out any questions you got on Prime at all. Man, this cold sucks balls. So you know, I do highly suggest going to a company over going to a third-party school. Just my personal opinion. Most companies work it out for either it's pretty much free going through the company, or it's like minimum cost compared to some of these CDL schools where you're paying upwards of, I think the most I've seen is $12,000 to get your CDL. But I know Roadmaster isn't cheap either. So I do highly suggest you go into a company. Just understand with contracts and stuff like that, that it's not as scary as everyone makes out. Pretty much, so you know, Prime's contract is literally just, hey, give us a year, you don't owe us I don't remember what the dollar amount is off the top of my head for the schooling. It's like, just call it $4,000. You work for a year, you don't owe us anything. You quit before the year, we have a payment plan that you're going to get charged for that schooling. They don't take anything out during they don't charge you for any of the schooling at all. Just the beginning $200 advance that they give you every week during PSD. Do they train on automatics or manuals? I've drove trucks with 10 speeds. Majority of our fleet now is automatic. We do still have some manuals out there, so it literally all depends on what your trainer has. And they are 10 speeds if they are manual. We don't have any 13s or 18s at all. So, when I upgrade, do I get a transmission choice? Either for company or lease. If you have the automatic restriction, you're stuck with an automatic. If you don't have the restriction, it can be a little interesting because they are planning on phasing them all out of the fleet unless you order your own with a manual. And I believe it's something like $2,000 or $3,000 option to get a manual. So all the new trucks coming in are going to be automatic. So the only way you could technically get a manual is a short lease, or it's an older truck as a company, and I don't remember what year so 2017. So I would say by 2020, there's probably going to be no manuals left on the fleet unless the lease operator or at least the person doing the lease purchase paid for the option. When you upgrade, you get a transmission choice. Again, it comes down to is what's available, and then if you're going to order a truck, you can as a lease driver, you can take a truck that's on the yard for 3 months, and then you can actually order your own truck to spec it out how you want it spec'd out within Prime's options. So if you really want a 10 speed, then you save up some money because you're going to put that money down to get a 10 speed. Even as a lease operator, you have to pay for the options up front before they order the truck. So keep that in mind too. Adrian, where are you at now, my friend? I am in wonderful Bald Knob, Arkansas, sitting at a little mom and pop's truck stop. No does a pickup tomorrow morning. Can you request a manual? For training, it's going to be literally if a trainer has one. A lot of us are switched over to automatic already, so it's going to be one of those things that it's going to be harder and harder to come by. Company, if you're doing company reefer, It's pretty much when you go to be a company driver, they literally go, oh, my keys went. They hand you a set of keys and a piece of paper to go do an inspection on a truck. You don't really have much say in what truck you want. Now, if you don't want a lightweight truck, you need to get with your fleet manager beforehand and express why you don't want a lightweight so he can approve you for a full size. Just know that if a lightweight becomes available before a full size, then they are stopping the guaranteed pay for you. So you have to sit there and pretty much not get paid until a full size becomes available. Hey Josh, you're sitting at the campus now? Sweet. Friday. So you should be finishing up, or I don't even know. So orientation should be finishing up today, so that should be all fun over there. The good old smoking section over there at the campus. Oh, I hate when coffee gets cold. Still just rain out here. Had a little bit of snowflakes come through earlier, but it was nothing bad, so gotta love this weather. If you're restricted to an automatic and a year or two down the road want to drive a hard switch, pretty much you just look into your local DMV, because you just have to go there and see what the requirements are to take off that restriction. I literally heard some as simple as literally you go out into the parking lot, you pull around, you drive around the block in a manual, and then you come back in and they take the restriction off. So that's something that you gotta look into at your state's DMV or your local DMV to find out what the requirements are to do that. Sweet, yeah, no restrictions yet. So yeah, so if you're going, you'll have the option if a manual's there. I think that's part of some of the holdup right now on full-size trucks, is there's a lot of people that have their restriction on their license and they can't take a manual. So, but with that too, is it's also going to mean you're going to have a little bit of an older truck until that gets phased out and then into a newer or what's available. Michael, I used to train due to stuff that's happened in my personal life. I stopped training, and also with the account that I'm on right now, I don't need to train to make the money I'm making, and also it's kind of removing a lot of stress and headache. People don't talk about how much of training is actually a pain in the butt. Hey James, how's it going, man? Long time to see. But I did train at Prawn for about 3 years, 3.5 years, so. It's still ticking me off that it's not showing me on people on YouTube. Like right, with my finger, right there, that number is supposed to be showing how many people are watching me on YouTube, but I don't know, it pisses me off, it's not working. I don't mind a manual, but I just want to know. Hey, it's for driving a manual transmission for almost 4.5 years. Like I said, I love the automatic. I at first had restrictions about like backing up and everything else with it, but once I got used to it, there's nothing. I have no gripes at all with the automatic so far. I mean, there's going to probably come a time where I have issues and all that, breakdowns and stuff, where it's going to be a little more fun. But Other than that, I have no issues with automatics. Good man, just drive my new job. How are things with you? Doing great, man. I'm on this dedicated account, making some good money, relaxing, dealing with the stupid cold. Worst experience with the student. 4 people watching. Hey, thanks for letting me know how many people are watching, Michael. I never had any. I'll tell you the craziest one, but it wasn't with me. It was with another PSD instructor. That one, it was on the Walmart account in Shelbyville. Him and his trainer got into it verbally in an argument, and it escalated to the point where the student pulled out a knife and started trying to stab the trainer. The trainer ended up with scars up and down his forearms for blocking him, and he then turned around, got the knife away from the student, and then proceeded to beat the living crap out of him. He didn't press any charges or anything against him because he felt bad for how bad he beat the crap out of him. My personal side of it, it's more of stupid stuff. It's basically a lot of headaches I get into with my students is them not reading signs, and putting themselves into bad situations, not waking me up. Even though I say, if you wake me up to get out of the situation, even if I'm grumpy or whatever, deal with it, because I'm waking up out of the middle of my sleep, and then I gotta go back to sleep. So I'm not gonna be happy, Mr. Happy Chipper, get you through the situation you get through, help you through it. I'm going back to bed. So, yeah, it's good to know how to drive a manual. I don't know if they're still teaching you guys in orientation on how to shift or not. But I think they switched it all over to automatic on the simulators, so I don't know for sure. James, no, I'm off of intermodal. It was not enough money for me. I'll just leave that. Leave it at that for intermodal. But then I went back OTR, and then I'm on a dedicated Sam's account doing dry goods now. Apply for the Jacksonville, but don't have any openings. Okay, man. Sweet. Oh. Man, I don't think I missed one. Out of Texas. Hey, KJ, I don't know if they talked to you about, I don't know what part of Texas you're in. If you wanna hustle and make some good money, there is Texas Regional for flatbed. I don't know if you consider that an option or not. Michael, you want to? Yes, Michael, I am on YouTube and Facebook right now at the same time. So if you go over to my Facebook page for my JACast vlogs, it's the same video going on right now. So that's why you're not seeing everyone's comments, but I can see both Facebook and YouTube comments right now. It's kind of cool. So I know some people don't want to do YouTube and some people don't want to do Facebook. Yeah, it's a Texas regional. Kind of look into it or talk to your recruiter about it. And I think some of them, it's literally their home daily. So, James, glad they didn't call me about that intermodal. You said that. My only thing with intermodal, I would say, is if you're gonna do it as a company driver. Don't do it as a lease driver right now. The rates aren't right. It's a flat dollar something a mile, whatever they want to set up for that account. so it wasn't even 72% of the load. So it wasn't worth it for me as a lease driver. Package. How's it going, Mark? Yes, I forgot what one of the groups on the trainer posted. He had his pickup truck and he was loading up his student, and he literally had 5 pieces of luggage in the back of his truck, plus another laundry bag and then some grocery bags. So, yeah, he's gonna have fun sleeping with all that crap in the truck. Michael, I'm from Michigan where it's cold here. I'm originally from Illinois, so this cold isn't nothing for me. It's I kind of actually prefer the 30s to 40s. I had people looking at me weird the other day, and I think it was like 35 degrees out, and I'm in shorts and t-shirt. So, yeah, yeah. Talk with your recruiter about it. I don't know what type of openings there are, but there is that regional account there. So, and with that, if that's what you would possibly be interested in, I would suggest that you come into training on the flatbed side, so that way you don't have to go out and do another 15,000 miles with a flatbed trainer on top of your 30,000 miles that you did as reefer. So, kind of think about that. James, I moved from Illinois back to Georgia. I live in Savannah now. Or something. All right, man. I'll let you know if I'm ever through Savannah. But I kind of stick in the Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee area right now is where I'm at. Hey, honey. Hey, wait, we got those 2 days out of the year that we'll get snow or ice, so. Mrs. Prime is the best for getting your CDL. Third party is crazy expensive. Yes. Um, I'll break it down real quick for you. So the true cost to get your CDL through Prime, they're going to want $150 at orientation. 100 they're going to take out right when you walk in the door at the hotel. That's going to be the orientation cost. The 50 is to cover, if you don't have your CDL already, it's to cover your permit test and switching your driver's license over to Missouri. From there, the other cost is going to be once you get your CDL, it's going to be $70 to get your Missouri CDL. So we're up to $220. Then you're going to have to transfer your CDL to your home state. So that's going to be somewhere in that 70 to 80 bucks, depends on your home state. Look that up so you know when you get home. You have to transfer your CDL to your home state before they will allow you to upgrade. So if your trainer's a jackwagon and doesn't get you home to transfer your CDL and drops you off at the terminal once you're done with your 30,000 miles, you're either going to have to bus back home or hop on a truck with somebody again to get back home and then back to a terminal to upgrade. So there'll be, let's call it another 70, so you're at $290, and that's the cost of your CDL. Compared to, I know someone who went through Roadmaster. He had to pay $8,000 and get someone to co-sign him on the loan to go to that schooling. And that's not including room and board and food. That was just the schooling cost. So keep that in mind when you're comparing out where you're going to get your CDL at. and I believe there's one up in forgot what the hell it's called. It's up in the Northeast somewhere. I think it's something like $12,000, $15,000 to pay for that schooling system through them. If you have $15,000, you can actually set that aside, and then as soon as you are out of training, you can literally put the $14,000 down and do a lease purchase right out of training. So, you know, a prime training program is good as it was 4 or 5 years ago when it was 3 to 4 weeks PSD as soon as you went. I don't know what the official standard is right now, James. It's last I heard, it was 2 weeks from the date of your permit. They do have a couple requirements, like you have to have a minimum of 10 hours of driving before you can test out. But I believe it's still on that 2 weeks from the date of your permit before you can test. When I came through, pretty much I came through the same time as you, man, and we had to do 75 hours behind the wheel. I wish they'd kind of go back to that standard, just so people can get a better quality of training and not just run through real quick, wham bam, thank you, man, to get your CDL. Michael, they pay $200 for the first 2 or 3 weeks, then $700. You're doing your 30,000 miles. Yes. So the way that works is once you get your actual green badge, you'll know what I mean when you see it. You'll get $200 that Friday, and then every Friday thereafter until you get your CDL. Now that $200 you have to pay back. It's pretty much like an advance to cover your food cost. They charge that back at $25 a week as soon as you get your CDL. So then when you get your CDL, that's when you get that $700 guaranteed, or it's 14 cents per mile, whichever is more. That's 5,000 miles a week for the truck. So if you run 6,000 miles between you and your trainer, you're going to make more than $700 gross. Alright, I'm finish this coffee before it gets ice cold. So other than that, hopefully everyone's doing alright. It's wonderful weather. Gotta love the delay. 6,000 makes it pretty average. 6,000 is kind of going to be towards the high end, so you're aware. It all literally depends on where the loads fall out during the week, because sometimes you'll have a load that picks up on Sunday but doesn't deliver across the country until like Tuesday night or Wednesday. I had a lot of issues with that, with going from produce from California and then going up to like Johnstown, New York or something like that, where it didn't deliver until Tuesday or Wednesday, which is in the beginning of the next pay schedule. So that week's going to be short, but then the following week, that mileage is on, so that week you can even see upwards of 7,000 miles. But as long as, if you're under 5,000 miles, you're going to get that $700 no matter what. Your paycheck will be no lower than the $700 gross. As long as you're available for dispatch. If you go home on home time, then of course you don't get that guaranteed pay. Absolutely sounds get rid of the night classes or the on-site training. I don't care for the traffic. Yeah. Don't get me started on a night class. I'm going to be going in towards the end of the month, and one of the guys in the training program actually wants to sit down and talk to me about some stuff, so we'll see how that goes. I'm not taking around flying to Springfield. He said they're basically reimbursing the press bus ticket, but on my check when I upgrade. Yeah. So whatever the cost is for that the bus ticket, they'll put on your you might get during training. It might be a couple weeks. Get with your recruiter official, should be able to tell you. You just have to submit in your receipt for your plane ticket, and they will reimburse you. Depending on what time of day you land in Springfield, or if you just want to plan it this way, I would suggest taking Uber or Lyft to the campus inn. Shuttle you can be sitting out there for a bit waiting for the shuttle if it's even running. And I think I've done it. I think it was only like 15, maybe $20 to take that trip. So kind of keep that in mind if you don't want to be stuck sitting out there at the airport. Sorry for the coughing, guys. It's just about over this stupid cold. I'm putting my text right. Okay, yeah, there you go. So KJ James, it's on my Facebook side, says recruiter reimbursement plane ticket, but not for the taxi ride. So kind of keep that in mind. $12:30. Yeah, all right. The shuttle will be running. It just might take them a little bit. You have to call as soon as you get out there, and make sure you're standing in front of the airport and keep an eye out for them. Because some of them they'll literally pull up, and if you're literally not right there, they'll pull off and then freaking take off on you, and then leave you sitting. And you have to call it back again and wait another couple hours for them to come back and get you. Sunday though. I think it still should be running Sunday during that time, because that's when they're kind of expecting everyone to be coming in on the airport. So don't be surprised if you're not the only one and they say, yeah, we already got a shuttle coming out there. So just keep an eye on it. It's how to describe it, like a white short bus, but it's not really a short bus. It's more of a, I don't know how to describe it, kind of like a bigger van. It's like a 10-seater. Got Prime on the side of it. So just make sure you're standing out front waiting for it. Michael, if you don't stay for Prime for 1 year, do they make you pay? Yes. I don't remember what the full amount is now. They've kind of changed it. It's in one of my older videos. It's let's call it like $4,500 for the program. Now, KJ, with you coming in for your CDL, you don't have to worry about you're not under contract. But if you come in as a PSD, then yeah, you have to sign off on the contract and you have to make the 1 year. Otherwise, you got to pay it back. And they do have a payment plan set up. It's on that contract when you sign it. It's all broken down. I would suggest if you have questions about, or I highly recommend if you have any questions about the contract or anything else like that, talk to them right then and there. They'll explain it and spell it completely out for you. But it's all plain and simple. James Prime was good to me. I made the right choice getting my CDL with them, even though I left and came back twice. Company driver pay was higher than most, but I enjoy my day cab now. Yeah. A lot of people use Prime to get their start. I highly suggest if you're looking at getting your CDL, going to the company, whichever you're going to, if it's Prime or not, do a minimum of a year and see what doors open up for you. And then a lot of doors will start opening up after that year mark. So it's kind of like a win-win situation with that contract, because a lot of the local companies, even a lot of local companies, are going to 2 to 3 years experience now. So kind of keep that in mind if you're looking at getting in trucking, and say you are looking, I can't even think of one off the top of my head. Let's just say garbage truck hauler. A lot of them are going to, you need to have at least a year experience driving before you can go to be a garbage truck hauler, or any of the higher end, even some of the stuff with like car hauling and all that. Some are requiring 2 to 3 years. So kind of look into that now when you're starting, so you can set your game plan into effect while going through training. Around 2 3 years in the company. Yeah. I've seen a few videos on RST. Are they just another company that hauls prime freight? They are what Prime considers on our A fleet, their advanced side. They have their own authority, their own trucks, their own separate owner. They just haul Prime's freight. So they're like a power only company to Prime. They got different rate figured out, but they do require 2 years experience before you can even go to them. So if you're looking at, say, and using Prime as a stepping stone to get to RST, then you have to get your 2 years experience in, and then also you have to give a 30-day notice in order to switch from Prime to anyone that's running the advanced fleet. So that's RST, Jim Palmer, Wilson Logistics. I don't know who else is on there. Montgomery. So all those guys, you would have to give a 30-day notice before you can switch over. Coffee's out. Time for some my favorite tea. Oh, get the camera. Peace tea. Michael, if you actually want more information on RST, they got a bunch of YouTubers over there. Woody's over there doing the company side of things under his company name. Who else? Mark State's over there. Of course, little guy. I think there's a couple other more YouTubers out there that are on the RST. Now that we're at Prime, so they'll be able to give you more of the information if you're looking at that after the 2-year mark on the requirements and everything, and the pay structure. So, alright, we've been going almost an hour. Hopefully everyone's stayed entertained and I'm not boring you to death. Sorry about this coughing. Is company driver the way to go instead of lease? It all depends on you, man. I went company for just over a year, probably about 15 months before I switched over to lease. It pretty much, the major difference is going from company to lease is then you are becoming fully responsible for everything. You're responsible for paying for the maintenance, the truck payment, everything else. You have to deal with your own taxes, understanding your fuel cost, understanding freight lanes, and why sometimes you're going to have to deadhead out of certain areas at certain times. So I personally recommend going company first to first not only just make sure that this is what you want to do. And what I mean by that is get a couple weeks of running solo by yourself, going home, have to get back in that truck and drive away from the house. It's going to be one of the hardest things you do the first time. And then understanding where freight's moving to, what freight areas pay the best at what time. So kind of keep all that in the back of your head. Not saying that if you jump right into lease that you won't be successful. It's just that you're pretty much at the mercy of your fleet manager. So if your fleet manager doesn't know really what's going on or what's best for you, you can get sunk real fast. How often I go home on this dedicated? Pretty much I just tell my fleet manager to send me home. So I don't really have any set time that I go home. I just say, all right, hey, going home for a bit. Like I just came back off of home time from, what did I take, December 23rd, and I came back out January 3rd. So that is one advantage over lease over company is as long as I can cover my fixed costs, I can go home for as long as I want. What is... Sweet. Are the dedicated routes pretty hard to get onto? It depends. A lot of them, it's kind of first off depending on where you live at. You got to be within a certain area. Some of the customers require a certain amount of experience and on time. So it literally all depends. Your first year is I would say at least your first 6 months, pretty much plan on it's going to be OTR unless something special kind of pops up. I believe I don't know if we are fully out of the Walmarts yet, but I don't think they're really hiring anyone that's still there. So we don't really have too many quote unquote dedicateds anymore. Like my account I'm on now, I think there's maybe 10 drivers. So I think there's maybe 10 to 15 drivers on it. I was talking with another driver who's on a different Sam's account in Texas. I think he said there's like 5 of them on that account. So it just means that it has to come available. You can get with your fleet manager. Your best bet is kind of jump around and get into all the Facebook groups out there and see if anyone's asking about something or what's going on. Because usually people post up like if anyone's heard anything about this account. I know we have some small Tyson accounts that are dedicated, but it's literally like 1 or 2 trucks. So they don't advertise those a lot. You got to literally find them and ask about them. Yes, remind them when you with lease, home time equals no check. You can get in the hole. Yes, no matter what fixed cost is coming out on home time. Fixed cost for me is about $1,300 a week. That is coming out no matter what I do. So if I turn 1 mile, it's still $1,300. If I turn 3,000 miles solo, it's still $1,300 on my fixed cost. So. It is definitely interesting having Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So that's if you guys are confused on like why you can't see all the comments, is yes, I am live on Facebook and YouTube right now at the same time. My phone is dying. I'm gonna hop off and take it easy for your crazy. Yep, man. Stay safe. Thanks for coming in. Make sure you hit that like button. You'll get notified when I go live and stuff on Facebook. All right, we've been going over an hour. I think I'm gonna call it here. unless anyone has any more questions or anything, I'll give it a couple minutes because I know there's a bit of a delay with going on through these different softwares. So, anyone has any last questions, then I'll post it up. So company home time is 7 days, earns 1 day, so basically can't stay out as long as I want, add my time off. No, max time with it, if your company, you can have the truck at home, the max is 4 days. If you want to stay out 6 months and bank that time and then take off, you just got to clean out your truck and turn it in at a terminal. And then when you come back out, you're probably going to get a different truck. The reason for that is all the trucks are leased, so someone's paying that payment on that truck. So they got to make sure that that truck is still staying profitable. So just keep that in mind. You could stack up and take 2 weeks off, I believe, but you just have to turn that truck in and get a different one at the end. Most money I've made since started lease versus company. Company I never ran as team. So for solo pay, my highest company I think I saw was right around $1,200-1,500 take home company. Highest as lease I've taken home solo is, I think I got about $2,200 to $2,500 take home solo. Now that's not all the time, but that is the highest I've seen. Team or training team lease, the highest check I had was just shy of $6,000 in 1 week. So there is some advantage to that, but there's also some disadvantages. I'll get into that in a later video on training TNT. I passed my first part of my training, got my CDL, I start my TNT training. And I get a load, they were close by the city to live in. Give me a sec. Damn cold. I'll get more Mucinex and Dayquil into me here. With that, Eric, you're going to have to, sometime between now and before you come back to the terminal to upgrade to go solo, you have to get home to switch that CDL back to your home state. Your trainer should know it. If he doesn't, remind him you're going to take some sort of home time between now and then to get that taken care of. You cannot upgrade until you get your CDL switched over. They will send you back home or back out with the trainer to do it because they will not upgrade you until you get it switched over. Yeah, so don't wait till the end of TNT training to do it. Just somewhere, may not be tomorrow or this week or next week, but within the next, because you're going to be out TNT 6 to 8 weeks. So somewhere in that time frame, make sure you get home and get that switched over. Man, this cold sucks balls. Alright, I'm going to call that there, guys. I had to get some medicine into me, so I stopped coughing up along here. So I appreciate everyone coming in, watching the video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so that way you get notified when I do go live. Or on Facebook, you hit that like button so that way you get notification when I go live on Facebook. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me on my Facebook page, comment below on YouTube. You can email me at jacasvlogs@gmail.com. If you're wondering how to spell that, it is right there. And just no space at gmail.com. Going to be doing a lot more live videos, so hope you all stay entertained, stay safe, look out for each other, and I will definitely talk to you guys later.